What sets this pizza apart for me, folks, is this cracker thin crust. It's crunchy and it's so good. And the pepperoni, Lord, those little pepperoni cups are fantastic. Hey everybody, welcome to the Lodge Kitchen. My name is Chef Chris and we are here to celebrate August with our recipe of the month. We're gonna be using this rad pizza pan and I can't wait for you guys to see how thin it is because we're doing thin crust pizza. All right, let's go for a ride. We're gonna start with an awesome dough. This is gonna come together really quickly. I've got warm water. This is about 105 degrees. If you stick your finger in and it feels warm, it's probably right where it needs to be. So to that, we're gonna add our yeast, and we are going to add a teaspoon of honey. And I'm just gonna give that a little knock around and let that hang out while we get everything else together. We're gonna use bread flour and that's gonna go right into our stand mixer. And to that, I'm gonna add salt, always kosher salt, folks. And I'm just gonna turn this on just to give it a little mix and kind of incorporate those ingredients. So now that we've distributed our salt into our bread flour, we are going to open that up and I'm gonna add our water and our yeast and our honey mixture. And to that, we're gonna add our olive oil. I'm gonna turn this back on. It's gonna make a shaggy dough first, and it's gonna start to come together. Lock that in place. And you got a feeling, it's electric. Boogie, oogie, oogie, oogie. Our dough is now, it's becoming shaggy. You guys can see that, but I'm gonna just turn that up just a tick. And we're gonna watch that turn into just a beautiful, smooth dough. This is awkward. And you thought you were having a rough day. All right, unlock that. We are going to take out, see how our dough is now smooth. I'm just gonna knock that out onto my countertop. I'm gonna shape that into a quick ball. All right, so here we go. Just a quick ball, and I have a bowl that I'm just gonna spray. We've got our Lodge seasoning spray, but use whatever spray you have. And we're gonna toss our dough ball into it. And I like to give it a little shimmy shake, make sure that we coated it all over. And we are going to cover this with plastic wrap. This is gonna go into a warm spot in my kitchen for 1 to 2 hours. We're really just making sure that it doubles in size. Our dough is rising, so while that's happening, I'm gonna prep the rest of our ingredients. And the second most important thing on a pizza, in my opinion, is the sauce. And we are using San Marzano, and to that, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of tomato paste, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, basil and oregano, 4 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna put these in whole, and we have our olive oil. To get our sauce together, I'm gonna use an immersion blender. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can feel free to use a blender. If you don't have a blender, you can use a food processor, or you can just mince that garlic up really well and then mix it all together. All right, this is just pretty quick, but I'm gonna tilt that to the side. And our sauce is done. That was super simple. Now I'm gonna cut my pepperonis. And when I cut my own pepperonis, if I cut them thin enough, then they turn into little cups of oil on top of my pizza. And I just love them because they're like little flavor shots. All right, I'm just gonna set these in a little dish. One thing I love about cooking is I always get to have a little snack. That's some really yummy pepperoni. So now we're just gonna get our cheese prepared. I have fresh mozzarella that we're using, and I'm actually gonna do this straight into the bowl. And this is, I mean, it's almost like pushing Play-Doh through, but I like having the ability to sprinkle the cheese on. And we're gonna see if our dough has risen. Our dough has been going for about an hour, and we have definitely doubled in size. It looks awesome. I'm going to just do a little sprinkle, and we're going to dump out our dough. This recipe is gonna make enough for 3 pizzas. So I'm gonna take a third of this dough, and the rest of it, you can freeze it. It freezes really well. We're gonna take our dough now, and I'm just going to tuck it under itself And there's a seam down here that what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to connect that seam so that my pizza holds together. So I'm using the countertop and the friction on the countertop to grip that, and that should start to close. All right, and that looks pretty good to me. We're gonna set that right down. And since our dough is at room temperature, we can just start pressing. What I'm gonna do is use my fingertips. I'm not trying to press through the dough, but I'm giving it pretty solid pokes. I am just gonna work that dough in the center. And as I'm doing that, I'll pick it up and I'll kind of start to stretch it a little bit. And I'm just kind of running my thumb and my index finger around the edge, and it'll start to open up. You guys can kind of see how that, and I'll give it a little tug now, every now and again. We'll just put it back down. And the more you work with the dough, the looser it will become. And then once I get to about 8 inches and I'm in a circle, I'll start to roll it out with my rolling pin. Started making pizzas during the pandemic, and my son was like, "Can you throw it?" And I was like, "I don't know, man." So we just started playing at home, and we had a lot of fun with it. I've got our pizza, it's about 8 to 10 inches. I'm gonna take a rolling pin, and if you don't start in a circle, then you're not gonna end in a circle. So I did a pretty decent job of keeping this symmetrical. But you know, if it doesn't wind up in a perfect circle, you're still gonna have pizza at the end of the day. All right, our pizza is almost the same size as our pizza pan, which is perfect. We've got a pizza peel here. I'm going to take about a tablespoon. I'm just gonna spread that out. Here we go. So I'm gonna take our dough. I'm gonna just lay that right out on top of our peel. And now, whoop, see, it's really slippery. Tried to give you guys a demo. I almost lost the pie. Here we go. We have our sauce. We have all of our toppings. This is enough sauce to make 3 pies. So if you're gonna make all 3 pies, by all means, go for it. If not, this freezes as well. You can put that in the freezer along with the other dough. What I'm gonna do here is start in the very center, and I'm gonna put a pretty decent dollop, and I'm gonna use the back of my 1/3 measuring cup and just spread that out evenly. What I wanna do here is make the sauce get to the edge of the pizza, and I'm gonna leave about a 1/2 inch so we have our crust. Now we're gonna take our mozzarella that we grated, and I'm just gonna go light-handed. I always start in the center, and then I just go clockwise around. So I've got pretty good coverage here. I've also got a 3 cheese blend, and what we're gonna do is just kind of fill in those gaps. This is gonna add like a salty punch. Boom. How's that looking? You can do as many or as few pepperonis as you like. I'm a big pepperoni fan, so we're gonna load this thing up. You can make a smiley face, you can make a frowny face. Choose your own adventure, but when you cut your own pepperonis, these are gonna turn into little pepperoni cups. Man, that looks amazing. All right, we're gonna do the trick one more time. We're gonna pick this up. If I give it a little shake, we're gonna make sure that it's going to slide effortlessly off of our pizza peel onto our preheated pizza pan that's been at 450 degrees. That looks awesome. This is going straight into the oven at 500 degrees. That's gonna bake for 10 to 15 minutes, probably closer to 10 minutes, and we'll just check it out in a minute, but we are almost ready to eat pizza. See you in 10. Where's my glow sticks? Whoa! All right, we're coming up on 10 minutes. We're gonna check our pie, but I'm pretty sure it is looking fantastic. Oh my goodness. Look how just incredibly awesome and bubbly that is. One thing I love about this is I can just slide that right out. I'm gonna go ahead and slice this thing. You can hear that crunch. It sounds fantastic. Let me just, that is epic pizza. Oh my gosh, look at that crispy crust. It's really hot pizza too, folks. This is our recipe of the month. For August, it's pizza month, it's pizza time. Hope that you guys are all making these at home, making them your own. And I would totally recommend doing this with the pepperonis because then you get the little pepperoni cups. If pepperoni's not your jam, show us on the internet what is. Hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope I don't get third-degree burns. I love you. Bye. It was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. I'm going back in.